So there's points where I was promised I would stay on topic, and this is one of them. I've got my. That's not it though. All right. So I said I had to make some promises. I won't go rogue all the time. And so here's one where I will not. It is time for our first keynote presentation, bringing sustainability to the AV industry. But before we begin, I would just like to take a moment to thank Crestron, our sustaining sponsor, for their support of the SAVE 2024 Global Conference. I'm going to go rogue for 1 second. Okay, there's a script, and I'm going to get to it, but let me go rogue for a second because this is for reals. When I was looking to upgrade all of our spaces, and I sent out our RFP to tell everyone what I was looking to do, and I wanted to create the most sustainable classrooms ever to exist. Next thing I knew was I got a call when they was from Crestron, and we had our design engineers sitting there having conversations with their engineers in New Jersey. They literally answered the call, and we wouldn't have been successful and done some great things if it weren't for that partnership together. So a huge round of applause for a company that went and actually stood and did, and it wasn't just marketing script. So cheers to that. Now the script. Crestron is proud. Yes, Crestron is proud to be the sustaining sponsor for the SAVE Conference 2024, collaborating to make a better world and workplace. Crestron strives to integrate sustainable development and environmental stewardship in all of our practices. Crestron is committed to giving back through the Crestron Eagles programs and Orbis Flying Eagle Hospital. Commitment to helping people achieve professional success through Crestron Technical Institute and Crestron Masters. Commitment to diversity. Crestron was voted the best company for diversity in 2023. Commitment to employees, embracing standards through proactive stakeholder engagement, collaborating to make a better world and workplace. We want to thank Crestron again for being a sustaining sponsor at SAVE 2024. Would you please come to the stage?
I've been with Crestron close to 12 years now, mainly in the supply chain and manufacturing group, but I've always been striving for the company to do more, to kind of change its ways, and we are all in, and it's so nice to have senior leadership buy-in and support and industry support, which is also very important, of course. So thanks again. I'm just glad that we're taking a kind of a holistic approach to this, and I look forward to getting to know a lot of you more and collaborating and learning, and also we want to help as much as possible too. So thanks again for allowing us this opportunity to help drive change, and I hope to get to know a lot of you sooner. So thank you very much.
We need the photo op. Get in here. I think one of those came out. All right, this is where I introduce you. Back to the script. I want to introduce our keynote presentation, bringing sustainability to the AV industry. This is an overview of what we're up against, our industry's role in exacerbating the sustainability crisis, and how the 2023 Sustainable Development Goals can inform and guide our efforts to transition from being part of the problem to becoming part of the solution. Our speakers are Christina de Bono, SAVE founder and president, and Joe Perez, SAVE founder and chair of the Save a Second Life Committee. Let's give it up. All right. Christina is celebrating her 30th year in the AV industry and has held key leadership roles, including founder and president of ClearTech, a leading AV integration company based in Altadena, California. Christina serves as treasurer on the NSCA, that's National Systems Contractor Association, Board of Directors. And in addition, Christina is on the executive committee of CVSA, Commission on Voluntary Service and Action, an official partner to SAVE. Joe Perez has over 25 years of experience in the AV industry and is the CTO for ClearTech. Joe serves on NSCA's DEI and Emerging Technology Committees and is an ambassador for the NSCA Foundation Ignite program, whose mission is to attract the next generation to our industry. Big round of applause and welcome to Christina and Joe.
Yeah. Let the CTO do it, right? All right. Here you go.
We're going to start with a video.
As a human family, we've had an enormous wake-up call to how connected we are with a tiny little virus that comes along and shuts us down.
We all live in this world together. The same blood flows in me and any other person.
We're facing the challenges of an ecosystem that is stressed.
Things are not moving as fast as they should. Things are improving, but not as fast as they should.
The challenges that we are facing, they are materializing so fast that it's not only my children or grandchildren which will experience the consequences if we fail.
To do it, we need to do it together. Collaboration, north, south, east, west, black, brown, white. Strengthen the diversity of the human family is what we need right now to get us past this incredibly difficult time. Might sound like it's impossible, but that's what we work towards, making the impossible possible.
20 years ago, a small group of United Nations and business leaders came up with a visionary proposal.
I propose that you, the business leaders here gathered in Davos, and we, the United Nations, initiate a global compact of shared values and principles which will give a human face to the global market.
I always say part of Kofi Annan's genius was he invited business, but he also addressed civil society and labor organizations.
The mission of the United Nations Global Compact is to mobilize companies around the world to align their operations and strategies with 10 universal principles in the areas of human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption.
The UN represents the body that aims to drive international cooperation and drive peace and security for humanity. And I think it unifies all of society around this set of 17 goals.
Our objectives cannot be met if the private sector doesn't play a fundamental role. And so the Global Compact is a platform in which all those businesses that abide by the principles of, and values of the United Nations and of the Charter to work together, representing the best of humankind.
For the last 2 decades, the initiative has grown to encompass local networks in more than 60 countries, engaging directly with over 10,000 companies.
The local networks are our global footprint around the world, and they work with us to translate the 10 principles as well as the Sustainable Development Goals into actionable pieces of work for businesses globally.
It is so decided.
Since 2015, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Climate Agreement have provided the most powerful common agenda that the world has ever seen, with an essential role spelled out for business.
L'accord de Paris pour le climat est accepté.
Any business that continues to operate under its own self-interest will not be around very long. So businesses that have a strong purpose, that understand how they can make society better, will be embraced by society and will be around for a long time.
Be the change that you want to see in business.
I truly believe that companies who do not put sustainability, the SDGs, in their strategies, they're going to disappear.
The mindset of consumers has changed. They increasingly want to buy from companies that are contributing to society as a whole.
Business must be part of the solution in when we address these big global problems.
The focus has shifted to both the short term and the long term, both doing well and doing good, making profits and making a change. This is a reality of the world now. Leaders need to lead sustainably.
The United Nations Global Compact is leading the transformation ahead, challenging companies to take more ambitious action on the Sustainable Development Goals.
I think it's absolutely impossible to face the challenges of today, the very quick change that is happening, without having the youth leading the way and helping us define the right strategies, the right policies, the right approaches to address the global problems.
The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not.
The world today has got more opportunities than it has the challenges that can be overcome by the opportunities that we have.
You find people in the most desperate of situations, determined to fight for a better future. That's the kind of world I want.
What has changed in a very short period of time is that the narrative is different, and that is fantastic.
If you want to have a good business, you have to mobilize people. The business is a sum of people working to something.
More and more people realize that sustainability is really about making the pie bigger, better, and more inclusive.
I hope in the future all businesses in the world will think about their own purpose. Business can only exist when they have a purpose.
We've got to show progress. We've got to reverse what's happening.
I see the Global Compact as an incredible organization working together with businesses to build a more sustainable world.
We are united across the globe, for the globe. We're united despite our challenges, no matter how daunting the task may seem. We are united by possibilities because this is bigger than one business, because we are better together. We all have the same job. We are united in the business of a better world.
From climate change and environmental degradation to poverty and inequality, our businesses, our communities, and even our planet face serious and accelerating threats to sustainability. Our very survival may hang in the balance. We all know friends, family, and fellow businesses who've been impacted by extreme weather events, wildfires, heat waves, cold snaps, flooding, and horrific winds from megastorms can have devastating consequences. Extreme changes in temperature caused by the erratic behavior of a destabilized polar jet stream affect the timing and amount of rainfall. Extreme cold and extreme heat are a burden on the power grid, causing it to fail, which in turn destabilizes entire regions. People are not only killed by heat and freezing, but also by the lack of electricity for life-sustaining medical equipment. Security and communication systems critical to our education, transportation, and manufacturing sectors are impacted by these outages with devastating consequences. The fingerprints of climate change are all over the world. According to a recently published Oxford University's State of the Climate Change Report 2023 was a record-breaking year, a year in which the rapid change of pace surprised scientists and caused concern about the dangers of extreme weather. Risky climate feedback loops and approach of damaging tipping points sooner than expected. There are a few examples. Global and North Atlantic sea surface temperatures have broken records. The sea ice is at unprecedented low levels in the Antarctica. In July of 2023, we witnessed the Earth's highest global daily average surface temperature ever measured, possibly the warmest temperature on Earth over the past 100,000 years. The rise in weather and climate extremes has led to some irreversible impacts as natural and human systems are pushed beyond their ability to adapt. And let's remember the impact of climate change, including food insecurity and undernourishment, does not unfold universally or uniformly across the entire globe. It disproportionately impacts the world's most impoverished individuals. Secretary Antonio Guterres addressed the Climate Implementation Summit at COP27 with dire warnings that the clock was ticking, with the planet fast approaching tipping points that can make climate chaos irreversible. The UN chief said, "We are on the highway to climate hell with our foot on the accelerator." Is that hyperbole? The 12 authors of the Oxford University's 2023 State of the Climate Change Report entertain uncharted territory, and 15,000 scientists who have endorsed it would say no. Here's what they began with their report. Life on the planet Earth is under siege, not disrupted, not threatened, under siege. What is the role of our industry in solving the climate crisis and achieving sustainability? It's no secret that there's a rising demand in AV solutions, whether it's corporate, government, education, healthcare, solutions for digital signage, presentation, and UC conferencing are in higher demand than ever before. The rapid change of technical development has meant that products are being replaced at increasingly shorter life cycles. This has led both directly and indirectly to serious environmental consequences. There is no unilateral process, system, or policy in the industry dealing with where this equipment goes at the end of its life cycle. What is the effect on the environment as the components pile up somewhere in the landfill or dump? What happens to the people who pick through old gear looking for sellable parts to eke out a subsistence income? Are there alternative materials that could be used in the manufacturing process of AV equipment that are more eco-friendly and easily recycled? Who is going to motor those changes?
Thank you, Christina. So we're going to take a little poll here to begin my part here. So if you could kindly take your phones out, we're going to put a QR code. Juan Carlos, maybe if you can put make the Slido active there. Bear with us 1 second. All right, doesn't look like the QR code's working, but just give us a minute here. All right, bear with us. All right, no problem. So what I'll do is I'll just ask the question, and maybe if I can get some participation in terms of what you think on our poll question here. So how much e-waste do you think was generated globally in 2019? So A, all right, 500,000 tons, B, 5 million tons, C, 25 million tons. You guys keeping track? All right. And D, 50 million tons. All right, so who thinks it's 500,000 tons? We have one? All right. 5 million tons? Anyone? Same person, it can't be twice. Change your answer, right, till you get it right. All right, how about 25 million tons? Yeah, right? Okay. And let's see our 50 million metric tons. All right. You guys are paying attention. Here we go. So the Center for Sustainable Enterprises conducted a study in 2020 entitled Sustainability in the Supply Chain. This study found that in 2019 alone, over 50 million metric tons of e-waste, including displays, cables, power supplies, and other AV equipment, were generated globally. Yeah, big number, right? And this number has increased 21% over the past 5 years. This growing problem is intensified by planned obsolescence. We all know about obsolescence in the AV industry, right? Companies aren't creating products that are intended to last forever. Instead, they're engineered to break down over time. And eventually they fail. They aren't easily repaired, and it's often just easier to throw them away and replace them. The products are intentionally engineered this way to generate more revenue, right? That's a big part of AV integration here. Our business relies on technology obsolescence and replacement for a large part of our revenue growth. Why? I think we all know why. And that results in huge volume of discarded end-of-life products. So by 2025, we will generate $329 billion just in new commercial AV technology and services. Means a whole lot of old AV technology and services, right, will become electronic waste. The research shows a direct relationship between the rate of the replacement, outdated commercial electronics, and the amount of waste it generates. So here's another one, and what I'm going to do, if you guys were paying attention the first time around, which I think you majority got that right, what percentage of used electronics do you think are recycled? All right, A, 20%, B, 40%, C, 60%, and D, 70%. All right, we're going to do this again. Let's hear 20%. Everyone was paying attention, Christina. You see how this works? Do I have 40s? 40%? I won't point you out. 60%? Anyone? All right, you guys got it. All right. So in 2019, less than 20% of used electronics were formally recycled. Not only is this waste bad for the environment, but it's also dangerous for the communities where it's disposed of. According to a 2019 UN e-waste report, e-waste can contain harmful materials such as mercury, lead, and cadmium. This contaminates the soil, the water, and damages the health of the local people on where it's dumped. End users aren't given options to properly dispose of these devices. Consequently, if we use 4% annual increase in e-waste projected by the European Environmental Agency, by 2030, global e-waste will exceed, if you guys were paying attention earlier to that 21% trajectory, 90 million metric tons per year. That's a big number. And here's the breakdown of the global e-waste per region according to the 2020 e-waste monitor report. And I know it's kind of hard to see, small numbers. We couldn't get all the data in one slide, but you have an idea there. And I'll leave that up for just a second so anybody wants to capture those numbers. Accra, Ghana, home to the largest e-waste landfill in the world. The United Nations estimates that the US and Western European countries ship over 50 million metric tons of used electronics every single year. So the 1.7 million people in Accra suffer from skin diseases and ailments caused by contamination from the e-waste. Harmful materials seep into the water. Residents have direct contact while picking through the e-waste to extract the sellable recyclable materials and components. The most widespread problem in the area is respiratory illness. And it's caused by densely polluted air, right? Full of hazardous chemicals. People continue working in Accra, Ghana because they have no other options. They suffer damage to their health, but they consider this a better option other than dying of starvation. I'm going to pause there for a second. Probably hear and see my dry mouth over there. Apologies. So this is not just a problem in developing nations. Unregulated pollution, contamination, and dumping occur in communities throughout the U.S. as well. Chemical plants who supply materials used for producers of AV equipment and computer chip manufacturers are some of the main culprits. China stopped accepting our ships of garbage 4 years ago, Christina. I think we're maybe 5 years now. They just said, basta ya, right? And it's only a matter of time before other developing nations follow suit. There are other ways that the AV industry impacts sustainability of our planet and our people. The AV industry is highly dependent on shipping and transport, right? We purchase components and equipment that are produced all over the country and all over the world. The transportation industry accounts for about 25% of the world's energy consumption, with the US, yes, here at home, consuming more energy than any other country in the world. Like most technology sectors, the AV industry has a large, growing impact on sustainability problems. Precisely what percentage of e-waste comes from commercial AV? Anybody know? No, nobody knows. We're trying to figure that out. Because our industry keeps no records for the disposal or obsolete commercial AV technology at all. We believe there is an immediate need for a country-specific inventory of our industry's e-waste and its disposal to establish those policies that need to be put in place for the training and the best practices to happen. What we do know however, is that while we contribute to the problem in several ways, we, and you'll learn this over the next couple days or over the next day, we're on conference, right? Is that we're very well positioned to do something about it. We can make a substantial progress in the responsible waste management, the carbon emission reduction, and reduce energy usage. A 2021 Pew Research study revealed that most Americans believed the climate crisis should be prioritized. And a 63% majority say that stricter environmental regulations are worth the cost. There's increasing evidence that AV customers and employees want to be associated with other businesses that are focused on sustainability. We are starting to see that on the clear tech side, on the integration side. According to the Wall Street Journal, in just the next decade, there will be upwards of $12 trillion in business opportunities for companies that align themselves with sustainability. And that's trillion, T. Industry members have the ability to generate funding, win business, attract employees, and lead our communities. Excuse me. But this all depends on people like us acting now. We can make a difference within our own industry and start from there.
In 1987, a UN commission officially defined the term sustainable development to mean meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability for future generations to meet their own needs. In September of 2015, by unanimous vote, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development was adopted by all 193 UN member nations. Each member nation pledged to achieve these indivisible and universal goals by 2030 to ensure a sustainable world for all people.
Save a second life. Give your equipment a second life at the end of its first life by donating it through a network that Save has established with partnerships with CVSA, Commission on Voluntary Service and Action, and HETMA, Higher Education Technology Managers Alliance. So this membership and this network represents over 200 based non-government organizations throughout North America, serving people and communities in need of systemic solutions to economic and social environmental problems. HITMA represents 600 colleges, Joe, is that right? We're more than that now. All right, well, we have to update our slide. And that's over 6,000 members in the US, I believe. SAVE is developing other concrete actions that companies in our industry can take around the SDGs. For example, our industry can have major impact on goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. It's critically important to reduce e-waste generated through prevention, reduction, recycling, and reuse. SAVE has published guidelines that companies can adopt to reuse, repurpose, recycle, and for proper disposal of AV equipment. SAVE has launched SAVE AV Design Committee here at this conference. So some of you can be part of that. If you have any questions on that, come see me afterwards. So we will help you advocate and help us design sustainably.
Okay. Okay, Get Save Certified. And we're really excited that you're going to be going through the Save Certified workshop during our conference. And we will be providing you the tools that you need to develop an actionable plan to align your businesses or AV departments with the SDGs and become SAVE certified. The SAVE Ambassador Program. So the SAVE Ambassador Program grew out of the need to have accomplished AV leaders advance the mission globally by representing SAVE in designated regions and countries. Our ambassadors provide education and information on ways that individuals and companies can get involved with SAVE initiatives and save a second life. And as I mentioned, we have SAVE ambassadors here today. We're very excited about that. Okay, so we have our work cut out for us. That's why we're here today. That's why you're here today. And to achieve the systemic changes that are required, we need to organize. We need to create a groundswell that's too big to be ignored. What that requires is leadership. And that is why we've themed SAVE 2024 as a call for leaders. To learn more about SAVE, you can scan the QR code, you can visit our volunteer information table, and talk to any of us in the red shirts today. Thank you so much.
It's time to thank another sponsor. And before I go into the words here, we all know Legrand, right? The parent company of like 875,000 brands. Close, give or take. You know, it's interesting. So I have a great story about Legrand because, you know, bent metal, right? I mean, right? But no. I remember being invited to a road show, and we're at a brewery. I'm just thinking I'm gonna get some free beer, right? And I got the truck, and I'm walking through, and I'm getting educated when I walk in. And I walk in and I'm being told that, well, there's the mount, but then how we can do power management, how we can be more sustainable on our lighting control, how we can, little things like screens that drop down but don't have all the filler material that can save every little bit. And I left that and went back and said, we're going to start buying hundreds of things. And the thing is, in higher ed, because we never do onesies, twosies, we do things in scale, we have opportunities to make a big difference. Every room that we do power management in, every room that we do smart lighting control, all of those different things, and we do sustainable practices when we do our racks, the materials that they're being made out of, and seeing that you have a company that you know does take how they package their materials seriously. It changed my life. It was great beer, but it actually changed everything the way I designed my classrooms moving forward. So it is an honor to thank Legrand here. And before we take a 10-minute break, unless we're over and there may not be much of a 5-minute break, well, you got to get some coffee. I would like to thank Legrand AV for being our impact sponsor at SAVE 2024. Legrand Vision, I think we got a slide 2. Thank you. Okay, Legrand Vision, winner of Global 100, the world's most sustainable corporation 2022, and Platinum EcoVadis sustainability rating. Corporate social responsibility focused on diversity and inclusion, circular economy, and climate change. So please welcome up Legrand.
Hi there. My name's Catherine Gaskell. I work for Legrand, and I appreciate being invited to this conference. We have several of our leaders here that are focused on corporate social responsibility and sustainable solutions. I'm excited to meet all of you this week and get to know you and help you with your journey, because it has been a journey for us. I'll be on the panel as well tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.